best. Oh, the voices come together, a podcast so fine, telling tales of yesterday, crossing every line, with a jazzy kind of rhythm and a spark in their quest. It's the best in the West, we must confess. Late nights cramming or dreaming so tall, echoing footsteps.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Today is Memorial Day. So whatever you're doing, whatever you've done, hopefully it was a wonderful day. Just remembering our fallen soldiers and, our family members as well. It kind of has like a double meaning. I know we kind of really reflect on our servicemen and women who have served this country well, but also families generally go to the cemeteries and just kind of, hang out sometimes with their loved ones in the cemetery. So however you choose to honor your deceased loved ones or family, friends, or service people, hey, that's up to you, but happy Memorial Day. Let's go ahead and get this episode cracking. We have another wonderful guest in the house. Man, we have like some legacy. This is like legacy. Like I remember her parents when they moved here or immigrated here from Guyana many, many, many years ago. And so now, I think, and we'll talk about it, she has some siblings and, she's doing wonderful things. Her and her siblings are doing some wonderful things. And so we have in the building today, ladies and gentlemen, we have in the building Miss Kierra McCurchin. Let's give her some love. Hey there.
Hi.
How you feeling?
Feeling good. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. So for some odd reason, and I think we kind of talked about it during the pre-show, I'm hearing like a little echo from the studio. But hey, don't worry about it. Hopefully everything is coming through over here. If you're watching, go ahead and drop us just some information, if you're watching it live. But enough about that. Don't worry about that. Let's go ahead and get into the episode. So Kierra McCurchin, can you introduce yourself to the people who are watching the NCS Best in the West podcast?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Kierra McCurchin. I am currently an associate clinical social worker. I work in community health. My title is a behavioral health clinician. So I kind of mentor the community. I provide a lot of mental health resources and guidance to individuals that are going through some challenges in life. I'm also a cat mom. I have 3 cats. So that's a fun fact. I have 3 siblings, and as earlier mentioned, my parents, they immigrated here from Guyana back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, that was some time ago, man. Now, does your parents talk about just just them coming over from Guyana to here?
Yes, they tell me stories all the time.
Okay.
Well, first it started with my dad and his parents, because his parents were here first when my dad was born in Guyana.
Okay.
So he actually was born over there, and then my parents came back to the state, or his parents came back to the States to kind of like lay the foundation of the life they wanted. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of when my grandfather got introduced to like Normandy and things like that. He started here as like a migrant farm worker in Florida, and then he somehow, I don't know the connection or like the timeline, I should know this, but he somehow got introduced to Normandy, and then they started the Guyana mission, and that's when he would go to Guyana, like how we used to have the Nigerian mission. And he would do missionary work in Guyana, and then eventually he got sponsored to come back to the States after that whole Jim Jones incident happened. So that's kind of how my dad and my grandparents got here. And then from there, my dad, he was like, I want a Guyanese woman, so let me go back there and get someone. And then he got my mom. And then, brought her over here, and that's where me and my siblings were, born and everything. We were born here in the States. So that's kind of like the brief snapshot of the story.
You know what? As you told the story, so check this out. As you told the story, now I'll put the pieces together because I was thinking your grandfather was your father, but no, there was another person in between you and your grandfather.
Yes.
Duh, man. Okay, so now it just clicked. Okay.
Glad I could clear that up.
Man, I was just like, oh, okay. Now I'm good. So I'm like, wait a minute, Brother McCurchin, this is not his. Okay, so we're good now. I got you. Okay, so that was a super nice story. And yes, I know your mom and your dad and your grandparents, super nice people. And yes, I remember when they came over from Guyana after that incident that you talked about. But enough about them. Let's focus on you and just the impact that Normandy Christian School had on you. And so let's go ahead and open up. When you think back to your years at NCS, now, of course, NCS was affiliated with the church there. Your grandparents started attending. And then, of course, your grandparents had kids. And then your parents started having kids. And so you said, how many siblings do you have?
I have 3.
Three siblings. Now, did all of you go attend NCS?
We did.
Okay. And what was that experience like? What memories stand out most about your experience at NCS?
Ooh, that is a great question. So I would say like the most prominent memory is doing the luncheon. I remember like having to stay after school and go through those songs. Like some of those songs I would randomly sing throughout the day. I'm like, oh, where's this coming from? Like, oh, wait, the luncheon. Because I'm pretty sure I was in every luncheon, like from when I was at Normandy to when I graduated.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed like the friends and like just the community vibe. Like it felt more like a family than like a school. Because of the intimate and private setting that it was in. I felt really comfortable like going around talking to the teachers. And another fun fact, my mom, she used to work at Normandy, but for the church at the office.
Okay.
So my mom was always there. So I was like, oh yeah, I feel very comfortable being here.
Got you. Now, knowing that your mom was there at the school, right? How was your behavior? Were you like one of those kids who stayed on track, or were you one of those kids who had a slight difficulty with maintaining focus in the classroom?
I would consider myself a student that stayed on track because I did not want to get hit or I did not want to get disciplined. I was too scared.
See, social worker, I knew. Yes, you didn't want to get disciplined. Yeah, that's a better choice.
Yeah. Sorry,
but no. But back in the day, we used to, they used to go ahead and beat us a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So here's the thing, because you were kind of talking about it a little bit about NCS and being a family. So my question is, what was it like growing up in a family with such a strong NCS legacy? Again, we talked about your grandparents, coming through, and then, your dad, he's there. Now, I'm trying to remember if your dad attended NCS. El Presidente, do you know if dad? He did not. Okay. All right. And then another question. So go ahead and answer that question for me.
So you said the question was, what was my experience?
Yeah, just the stronger legacy. Your mom working there, and then you and your other 2 siblings, right?
3
siblings being there. What was it more of a legacy kind of situation, or was it that, hey, I need to live up to the family tradition, morals, and you don't want to bring any shame upon your family?
Yeah, I would say I definitely agree with that. I wanted to make sure like I represented my family well, but at the time going there, I didn't understand how much history was behind my family's name. It wasn't really until I got a little bit older that I started to understand like when I introduced myself, I'm just like, hey, I'm Kierra McCurchin. Like, oh, I know your grandfather, or I know your dad, I know your mom. And it was just really cool being able to connect back to my roots. And then that's when I kind of like got more interested in understanding like the impact that my grandfather had and my dad and my parents. But yeah, it was definitely me trying to make sure I was on my best behavior at all times. I was definitely a goody two shoes. My siblings would tease me about that.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about your siblings. So how long did you attend? From what grade to what grade did you attend NCS? First of all,
So from kinder to 6th grade.
okay, so you went all the way through.
I did.
Now, did your other siblings go all the way through as well?
Yes, they did as well.
Okay. Now, what was that like attending NCS with your other siblings? I'm sure you guys maybe shared stories about some of the teachers, especially as you kind of matriculated and, got a little bit older. You kind of understood the nuances, or maybe they helped you understand the nuances. So what was it like attending NCS with your other siblings?
It was a pretty cool experience because I'm the second youngest. So I was always looking out for my younger brother, making sure, like, keeping him in check. And then my older siblings would do the same as well. And then they kind of had a feel for the teachers before me and the ones that I was in, or the classes I was in. So I would kind of pick their brain, like, hey, how's Miss Rhodes, or how's Miss Jackson?
Right.
And then we would, have those type of conversations, and they would help me with my homework. So typical, like, big sibling, little sibling type of relationship.
Got you. So it was a good kind of situation for you. It wasn't like a big rivalry where you guys were kind of fighting or, having disagreements amongst each other in terms of some of the teachers. It was more of a nurturing kind of experience for you and your siblings as you guys kind of matriculated through NCS, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Very nurturing.
Yeah. Okay. So what values? Let's talk about some of the values that NCS kind of helped instill in you as maybe, when you really begin to understood what values meant. How did that kind of shape your experience and, help you become the young lady that you are right now?
The values that I learned being at NCS was just the importance of my faith. And I really grew into my faith at such a young age. And I feel like that is a rare thing that happens nowadays unless you kind of like grew up in the church. But it really helped fortify the faith I already had because I was born and brought up in the church, and studying about the Bible and the Word and knowing like more about the stories in depth in like a class setting. It really helped me grow spiritually. It also helped me just become a better person. Like it helped me grow in kindness and love and care for others. And it really allowed me to see that there's more to life than, thinking of yourself. You have to think of others, and you have to give back when you can. So yeah, those are probably like the main values I gained from being at Normandy.
Yeah, and those are super nice values. Even now, I'm a classroom teacher, and so I was talking about my students last week, and some of them kind of struggled. The upper grade students. I'm at a K-5 TK through 5th grade school. And so, just talking to all of the classes, but just trying to relate really to the upper grades, 4th and 5th grade, about some of those core values. And some of them, they kind of struggle with understanding what the core values are, but some of them, they also mention faith as well. And so, you're never too young to understand, the faith thing is big for me. And so I was just kind of excited and happy that some of the students that I work with, have faith just like you do. They have that as their core value. So that's super, super nice, man. Yeah. Faith is going to get us a long way, especially when we're going through bad, dark, difficult times. Faith is what's going to ground us to do what is necessary. All right. Let's talk about some of your favorite teachers. Now, you mentioned Miss Rhodes and Miss Jackson, and I'm just assuming that some of those are your favorite teachers. Let us know, who are some of your favorite teachers?
Ooh, Miss Parker, Mr. Alston.
Okay.
I did like Miss Rhodes and Miss Jackson because they were big on like keeping everyone in check. Like no one could run their classroom but them. So I really respect that because that's hard to see nowadays. And I'm like, looking back, they were tough, but it was necessary. But yeah, Miss Parker, she was just so like creative in her teaching style. I really enjoyed like learning about Black history and like the different historical figures and people. Some of those stories still stick with me to this day, and they've inspired me in a lot of ways. And then Mr. Alston, he was just like more of the laid back teacher, but like
Okay.
if you tried him, he's like, oh no, this isn't happening.
Okay, so
But yeah.
so Mr. Alston. Okay, I've never heard of this gentleman. Now I'm kind of removed. Now, when did you leave NCS?
I left in 2009.
2009. Okay, and what did Mr. Alston teach?
He taught third grade.
Third grade. Okay, so okay, all right. Shout out to Mr. Alston. No one has never brought up his name before. So, shout out to you, sir. Nice to meet you. Okay. What about your friendships at NCS? What friendships did you make? Do you still keep in touch with some of those, classmates way back then? Or, you guys go out and hang out and do brunch or lunch or, because I know there is an alumni kind of gathering at least once a month or something like that. So who do you hang out still? Who do you keep in contact with? Some of the folks from your grade.
So some of the friends I had, off the top of my head, Jordan Soignet, I know she's at Cypress. There's also Kristen Lee, Dominique Lee's younger sister.
Okay.
And there's some other ones that I don't keep in contact with, like Maya Moldrew, Bailey Blackwell. I follow her on Instagram.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's Leonard Bradley.
Okay. Okay. We call him. I know his dad calls him Cruz, right? Is that the same? Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. So you guys still keep in contact with? You still, you following some folks, but you kind of friends with some of the folks, right?
Yeah, it's more like a distant friendship.
Yeah.
Like we still like communicate. We see each other on like socials and stuff, but I wouldn't say we go hang out that much.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's
Okay.
just like life has been lifing.
Life always life.
Yes.
No matter what, it does what it does. And sometimes it works out where we are in the same space, and sometimes it works out where we're in different spaces. But when we come together, it's an awesome time to come together and just kind of reminisce and go down memory lane.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, what do you appreciate now about your time at NCS? Was it the lessons? Was it the relationships that you built? Was it just the connection to church? And I mean, because, if you were like me, you probably were there at Normandy probably almost 7 days a week because, when I was there, we had, I went to NCS 5 days, and then we had Saturday youth groups and then Sunday worship. So kind of how did it shape your existence today?
Great question. I would say it shaped my view of the importance of community, because sometimes we take that for granted. And I feel like at the time I didn't recognize it. I'm like, oh yeah, I have my family, and then there's Normandy, and like I would kind of group everyone in as like family. And I'm like, oh yeah, like it was my safe space, just like being there. And I see like in the work that I do, the kids I work with, a lot of them don't have that community. They were brought up in very rough homes, and they deal with a lot of challenges. And I just think about Normandy and how like, even though we were on the corner of Normandy and Gage, we still had like that safe space, and we still had that connection to each other. Whatever we needed, we can just communicate that with a teacher or someone, and they were able to help out in any way they could. So I really appreciate the community aspect that Normandy provided.
Got you. Now, I have to ask, I usually ask this when we kind of close up the Normandy session or discussion. Now, when I was there, we had Hot Dog Fridays. Was there a special day that you guys had where it was kind of catered, like maybe a spaghetti day, or I think you had mentioned CW, because we were replaying one of the episodes from a previous NCS alum. So did you guys have like a special day? Because we had Hot Dog Day, but I think as time went on, they moved away from hot dogs.
Yeah, what I remember the most was CW Chris Day.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it was like on Fridays. I don't know if it was specific to like school or if it was summer camp, but I really loved CW Chris Days.
Okay. Favorite CW chicken flavor?
Oh, I just like the dry rub.
Dry rub.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a picky eater growing up. So I'm
Got you.
just give me the dry rub.
Now, because of your background, you shouldn't be a picky eater, right? I mean, come on now. I mean, spice and no, your parents didn't cook with a whole bunch of spice.
They did.
They did. But you were just still picky.
Yes, I was. I liked eating their food, but like anything else, I'm like, okay, what is this?
Got you. Okay. See, I'm kind of flabbergasted because we had hot dogs, and I was going to ask you your favorite hot dog special. Mine was the number 3 because I believe it had ketchup, mustard, and relish. So I can't ask you that. But you did say CW was your favorite. Was your favorite day of the week, I guess. Because, see, and those of you who are new to the podcast, C&W Chris is a chicken wing spot that is close by, and they help serve meals to some of the students at NCS. So that's why we asked that. Okay, now let's kind of move on just a little bit and talk about the transition from NCS into middle school and high school, and ultimately into what you're doing right now. So what was that transition like, going from a private school to now? Did you go to a public school?
I did. I went to Dana Middle School in the Wiseburn School District.
Okay. So that's one of those, I don't want to say exclusive, but it's kind of hard to get into Dana.
Yeah, I had to get a permit because it wasn't in like our vicinity or because the other option was Gardena Middle School or Henley v. Clay, and my parents were like, no, you're not going there. So they applied for a permit for me to go to Dana, and then I got in and everything. But yeah, I would describe it kind of like a culture shock because like there's so many different like people there, like so many, backgrounds. And I wasn't used to that because growing up at Normandy, it was like
a small knit community.
Yeah, exactly. But and just like there weren't filters at Dana. So I'm like going from like one very filtered environment to like one that's not unfiltered. And it was just interesting. So I was able to adjust. I was able to fit in where I felt, most comfortable. I mainly just focused on getting my grades up getting good grades and, getting through to the next stage.
Now, being in an unfiltered situation, did you have a big adjustment to make? Because like you said, I mean, it was a small school, class was probably less than 15 or right at 15 or so when you left. But now it's a big school. You got a big campus. You got so what was that, what was that transition like? I mean, was it, you said a big culture shock. Did it really shock you, or did it take some time for you to adjust and get with the program?
It took some time. Like I was growing up at Normandy, I was like the quiet kid. Like I stayed to myself, very reserved. I'm still somewhat like that. And going to middle school, I was very much the same way. I'm like reserved, like kids are saying things and doing things that are unfamiliar to me. So it was like uncomfortable at first, but then I I had to realize like, okay, this is a different environment. I just have to, still operate with the same morals and values that I'm used to and just put my head down. Like my head was just in my work. Like I did not worry about anybody else. I'm like, I just want to get out of here.
So here's a question. What do you remember a situation that you can recall where your faith was kind of challenged as you moved from NCS to middle school? Can you identify and remember a particular situation where it's like, okay, I need some faith right here because this is crazy?
Well, I can think of quite a few, but the one that sticks out the most is just how involved the kids were in drug use. So I was like, whoa, like what is happening? I mean, I never was offered anything, but there were times where I saw things that just made me uncomfortable, and like having to go to the teacher and not being like, oh, she's a snitch or she's a tattletale or whatever, but just kind of like speaking up and advocating for like, the safety of kids and other things. I think that's something I had to adjust to because it's like I never really had to do that. Normandy, like the teachers are always like paying attention and they had their eyes on everyone. But in middle school, it's a very like more lax environment. And I would see things and I would like have to tell the teacher like, hey, I just saw so-and-so. Like, I don't know. There's something off. I don't know what's happening, but maybe you should, check in on them. But it would be more so in like a private setting. So it's not like in front of the class or anything. But so there were times I'm like, should I even get involved? Like, this has nothing to do with me personally, but I do think it is important to like say something in those moments.
Yeah. What would you say to a young person right now, who might be facing, a similar situation, or a parent, going through that now with your background? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what would you say to the student who might be facing, who might be in that similar situation that you kind of just described?
Yeah. So I actually do work with a group of high schoolers, and in the work I do currently, and a lot of them do have challenges with substance abuse and things like that. So what I would tell a parent or a child is like, okay, like I know this is what you're using to cope, but what are some healthier ways that you can manage what you're dealing with? And what other resources do you need to kind of help you get through what you're dealing with? Because sometimes they use that to mask whatever is underneath. So kind of like peeling back some of the layers and asking questions and just showing that you care, like genuinely, and you have, the concern. I think that's like the main thing. Because most people, like they see things, they don't really care. It's like, oh, not my problem. Let me just keep it pushing. Right. But yeah, I just say like it's important to get help. It's important to talk to someone, because sometimes kids can't talk to their families. They can't talk to the people that they're around often because they either don't believe in mental health, or they think it's taboo, or they don't feel comfortable. They don't feel safe. Right. So find your safe space is what I would say.
Got you. All right. That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. We're gonna have to clip that out and make that a small little sound bite. Put that on the Instagram reel for the folks who might be in that situation. Now, were there some good times that you experienced during both middle school and high school?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So for a period of time, I was involved in softball, and I really enjoyed playing softball. It was like a great experience. I got to meet a lot of people, and it was kind of like my way of, since I was so like focused on my school and my studies, it could get kind of stressful. So it was my way of like channeling whatever stress I had into like a sport, and also staying active, because I feel like that's super important in addition to like, studying and things like that. Also having the extracurricular activities. And my middle school, they had a lot to offer when it came to extracurricular activities. Like I remember for a point in time, I was in like this organism club where we would like take care of like turtles and other animals and things like that and learn about them. So that was pretty fun. And then also a robotics club. I remember I was in that, and we were in like a competition with, I can't remember the name of the agency, but we were in competitions, and it was fun, like getting to build robots and things like that. So just staying active and like engaging my brain in like different ways was very, very nice and most memorable for me.
Got you. Okay. So, we do want to definitely shout out your high school. So you went through middle school, you kind of experienced what you experienced, but you went to high school as well. So go ahead and shout out your high school.
Yeah. So I went to HMSA, Hawthorne Math and Science Academy.
There you go. Okay, now where is that?
So that's in Hawthorne, off of like Hawthorne Boulevard and Gravilla.
Okay.
Yeah, Gravilla.
Okay. So is it a small knit community, or is it a small school? Okay, so
very small charter.
So you went from a private to a kind of large middle school to maybe a smaller high school, would you say? Mm-hmm. Okay. And what are some lessons that you learned from your high school experience?
Ooh, that's a great question. I learned a lot. I learned, one, all of my siblings also went to the same high school. So we all went to NCS, and then we kind of went to different middle schools, and then we all went to HMSA.
Gotcha.
So what I learned is that I am what someone would call like a lazy smart person. I learned that in middle school, I kind of like coasted by because the work wasn't too hard. But when I got to high school, because it was a charter school and they really were rigorous when it came to like math, science, like all subjects really, I learned that, okay, I need to work a little bit harder to get the A's that I was getting in middle school.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of like the lesson I learned, like, okay, I really have to like buckle down and, you know, spend more time on my studies. But the goal for that school is like to get everyone into like a 4-year university. And my older sister went there and she like excelled. She was like, she had a 4.0, like all the teachers knew her and I had the same teacher. So they were always on me. They're like, okay, like you need to be like your sister.
Yeah.
You need to get the same grade.
They always compared you.
Yes, they always did.
Yeah.
So that was a little tough because like all of my teachers knew her.
Yeah.
But it did help. In one class, I had a physics teacher who really liked Ashley a lot. And it helped. He was more like lenient because he knew my sister. I don't know if he was supposed to do that, but hey, it helped me get by physics because that subject was not fun.
No, I mean, I've experienced that through my kids. So my kids went to Palisades, and so I remember one of their teachers, you know, he was a math teacher, Mr. Wiener, right? And so Cy, you know, he told Xavier, he's like, hey, you know, Cy thought Mr. Wiener was super nice, super good. And, you know, he told, you know, his younger siblings, like, look, you need to see if you can get Mr. Wiener because, first of all, he knows who I am. And second of all, he's a pretty nice teacher. And so I think Xavier was able to get Mr. Wiener. And then I'm not too sure if Samaya was able to get him as a teacher, but I think she did maybe talk to him every now and again, you know, regarding math. But no, those sibling experiences, they do help.
Yes.
They do help because teachers remember. It's like, oh, no. But also, on the flip side, you know, if your sibling was acting crazy, they were like, oh,
yeah,
so-and-so was your brother? Oh, man, they're going to have that negative disposition. So you're going to have to, you know, live up to the good standard and kind of balance it out a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. All righty. So then next question. What inspired you to kind of travel down the road to become a clinician like you are? So just kind of tell us what the inspiration was and why you chose that as a career path.
Yeah, so I was actually talking to Darren about this earlier. I was in high school. I had a friend who was dealing with some challenges at home, and she would kind of tell me about them, but I didn't really know like the seriousness of it until we got to college. And when I found out, I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe like she was going through what she was going through. And it just made me, in the moment, I felt like so helpless. I'm like, man, if only like I knew what to tell her or what to do to help her, like I could have been there for her when she was going through this, as opposed to like kind of not knowing. Because she only shared with me the details until after high school, but all throughout high school, she was dealing with this and I had no clue. So that kind of inspired me to, you know, be more vigilant when it comes to like people that are dealing with things. And it just that's kind of like where my heartstrings were tugged into getting into the work that I do. I also think about my mom as well, because growing up in Guyana, it's a poor country, and she grew up in an environment that wasn't the best. So she saw a lot of things and experienced a lot of things that no child should experience or see. So that also inspired me as well. I'm like, okay, I want to be a person that makes a difference in a child's life or another person's life to prevent them from going through certain things or experiencing the challenges that are unnecessary for their growth and development. So yeah, that's kind of the story behind it.
Man, let me go ahead and give you the, you know, because that's super nice because, again, you had a family situation where you reflected upon your parents. And then, you know, you had a personal, you know, relationship with friends who kind of were going through. So that kind of helped you decide, maybe I should, you know, travel down this way and become a clinician. Now, tell us the college. Go ahead and shout out your college. Where did you go to college and all that kind of good stuff?
So I went to UCLA.
Okay.
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
And also I went to USC. Go Trojans.
So you're the one who would be like, if it was a football game, you would have to like sit somewhere in the middle, huh?
Right. I'm like, whoever's winning, I'll just wear your attire.
What was the best thing about attending UCLA? Now you did that as your undergrad.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us the best thing about attending UCLA, and do you think the foundation that NCS laid for you did that help you get through your time at UCLA?
Yeah. So the best thing about UCLA was just getting involved in like the African Student Union. I did a lot of work with them. I helped co-chair an event because I actually transferred into UCLA. So I went to El Camino for 2 years and then I transferred.
Elko.
Yeah, shout out Elko too. Yeah.
Elko alum right here, class of 19. I forgot what it is. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so I was involved with helping like Black transfer students kind of get acclimated to the campus and everything, and that was a really fun experience. Also, like just getting to know so many people and having the classes I had, like it was just so informative. It was a beautiful campus. Like I dormed for a year and then I graduated the year of COVID, so I didn't get to dorm that year. But that 1 year I was on campus it was
lit.
It was a nice experience. But yeah, I would say NCS laid the foundation of, again, like just looking for ways to advocate and looking for my community. Like ultimately, like I always kept that piece of me from NCS. Like, where's my community? Anywhere I went, I'm like, okay, I need to find a community just like I had with NCS. So I really valued that, and I was able to find like my group of people and make the connections I made, and it really helped me shape my experience there for the best. So I really would shout out Normandy for that. Like Normandy has just, taught me so much, and it also helped me stay grounded in my faith as well. So my faith it was a seed planted as a kid, and it just developed as I got older. So.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. How important is representation in the mental health profession for communities like Compton and South Central Los Angeles?
I would say it's extremely important.
Okay.
Yes.
Explain.
So when it comes to representation, it really goes down to like the history of the particular person you're working with. So for example, I actually do service the South Central and Compton areas in the work that I do. And I work with all populations, all cultures. Specifically, I work with a lot of Latinx individuals, and I work with the Black community a lot. And I notice like there's a lot of taboo around mental health in both communities.
Okay.
And I think when I work with people from the Black community, they see me and they're like, oh, like I feel more comfortable like talking to you because, we're both Black. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm glad like you feel safe. Like that guard is kind of already down. Yeah. And then also working with other groups from other cultural backgrounds, like I try to stay competent and like understand like, okay, like they come from a culture too where maybe, you can't talk about mental health or like it's not really taken seriously. So I take that into consideration and I try to convey to them, like, I understand, like even in my community, sometimes people don't value mental health. So I can kind of stand with you on that front to try to understand like what you're going through and allowing them to creating a safe space that way with them.
Got it. Got it. Man. Okay. So we're kind of close to winding up. This has been a super informative episode, and I'm just so proud of, just hearing and listening to the accomplishments that, you've made, and just, the connection that, that NCS has brought you, or foundation, I should say, has how NCS has played a instrumental with the foundation that you have. So just a few more questions. Let's see. Do you see any connection between your upbringing, NCS, and the work you do today?
Ooh, yes, 100%. So although in the work I do, I can't necessarily bring up my faith, I do notice I encounter a lot of people that do have some kind of faith or some walk with God. And I feel as though I'm able to connect with them on a deeper level because of that, but only if they like invite the conversation is when I'm able to talk about it. And I also notice like just how like I understand others and like try to be like, okay, I'm not gonna judge you for what you're going through or what you did. I'm here to help. So just focusing on removing judgment from the conversation, because that's something that a lot of people face in the work that I do. And I try to keep those morals and values, like, okay, we should love each other. We shouldn't judge each other. We should forgive each other, be there for each other, support each other as much as we can. And I definitely think NTS has developed those values in me. And I carry that with me in my work that I do. And I think about that daily.
Good. All right. What advice would you give to a current NCS student who are trying to figure out, hey, I want to do something in the future, but I don't quite know. What would you say to that student who's trying to figure out the path that they should take?
Oh, great question. So I was actually like that too. I didn't know I wanted to go into social work. And what I did was I took a class where it was like a career development class in college, I think it was in college at OCO specifically. And they kind of like had you take a personality test, and they kind of allowed you to see like, oh, this career would fit your personality. So then that's kind of when I had some guidance. I was like, okay, like this is my personality type. These are the careers they recommend. Let me see like what career interests you the most. And that's kind of where I got some guidance into what I wanted to do. And then from there, like I just kind of stuck with sociology. That's kind of how I broke into social work. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do social work yet, so I went the sociology route. And then from there, I branched out into the social work field. So I would say, use those websites to guide you. There are plenty online. I don't know the one like off the top of my head, but I definitely recommend taking a personality test, seeing what careers align with your personality, and then going from there, doing your research and taking as many classes as you can that interest you. So that way you can kind of dwindle down like, okay, this is what I want to do. And even if you don't know what you want to do, even if you try something out that you may be kind of hesitant to try, or they may be hesitant to try, I think it's still important to follow through to see like, okay, like at least I gave it a try. Sure. This isn't for me. Yeah. On to the next thing.
Got you. I want to go back to something that you talked about, and for those folks who might be going through this situation, the importance of attending a community college. What would you say to folks who kind of downplay attending a community college like a El Camino or a Santa Monica? What would you say to those students and to the parents who think that, okay, community college is not the correct way to go? They need to go from high school to a major university or PWI or HBCU. So what would you say to those parents and to the students who, kind of downplay the importance of attending a community college?
Well, I would say community college is just as good as going to a 4-year. Sometimes it's a stepping stone and it's more affordable for a lot of people. My high school had that same idea, as I mentioned earlier. They wanted everyone to go to a 4-year, and I ended up not going to a 4-year. So I was definitely like in that headspace, like, oh no, like my life isn't going to be anything now because I'm at a 2-year. But I soon realized like, hey, like as long as I do what I need to do, get my credits, then I can transfer to wherever I want, honestly. So I would say like it's not a bad thing to go to community college. It may seem discouraging because if you wanted to go somewhere else or you wanted to immediately go into a 4-year, but one, you do the same Gs or general education classes for lesser price. True. And you can still have the opportunity to go to another 4-year or to go to a 4-year and have like that experience. So I would say it's just as valuable. Like you still get through your classes, and it's even more motivation. At least it was for me, because I'm like, I don't want to be here. I want to be at a 4-year. So let me just try to get through.
Do what I need to do.
And, you know, get everything handled like I'm supposed to.
Yeah. How did your family, because like I said, I know your family was, really, really supportive. Was there, did you think there was pressure from your family to go automatically to a 4-year, or was that something that some of your previous siblings was that their path that they took to get where they are? Because you have a sister who is a lawyer, correct? And I know I remember that because we kind of talked about that at the beginning of the show. So were there kind of, was there like a friendly competition? Be like, oh no, I'm going to go for a year, or you got to go to a 2-year. Kind of explain that family dynamic amongst you and your siblings.
Well, I would say my sister, she went to a 4-year. And then my siblings and I, so me and then my 2 brothers, we all went to 2-year, and then we transferred.
Gotcha.
So the trend was kind of already there, or not the trend, but like since my older brother went to a 2-year, it wasn't like too bad. Like we were like, oh, okay. It kind of is what it is. We were able to like meet each other where we're at and like understand that we all have like different needs and different ways of learning. Like my sister, she's always been the one to just, exceed the bar. And that was like just something we had accepted as a sibling. So like, okay, yeah, we know Ashley, she's going to go she's going to do what needs to be done.
Right.
So it there wasn't any like, no family, I wouldn't say rivalry or anything. Yeah. We were kind of just supporting each other in our journeys. Like, okay, like you're at a 2-year. Well, I mean, just do what you have to do, and then you can transfer to whatever college like you want to go to, really. Yeah. So yeah, if anything, Ashley inspired us a lot to like really push ourselves, because we always saw her like just always exceeding everything and just doing so well in everything, and we're like, oh my goodness, this is a hard shoes to fill, but we're gonna try our best. And at least that's what helped me like kind of get through it when I went to the 2-year.
Got it. If you could go back and talk to your younger self at NCS, what would you say?
Ooh, if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would say don't allow like the opinions and thoughts of others to cloud how you feel and how you think about yourself. Because sometimes that was like my biggest struggle. I would care too much about what people thought or what people said, because not only being at NCS, but like my reputation, my family's reputation, like I just didn't want, anything to go wrong with that. So whenever like people had opinions and thoughts, I would really take it to heart. So I guess I would tell myself, like, don't take it to heart. Like those are people's opinions and that's what they think. Okay. But just keep it pushing. Like don't let that define theirs. You. Exactly.
Absolutely. Finish the sentence. NCS helped me because.
NCS helped me because.
Or NCS helped me, and then you can finish the sentence.
Okay. NCS helped me become the person I am today.
Okay. Hey, it's not too much discussion. If NCS did that, they laid that the foundation for you, then hey, you are who you are because of the contribution of NCS. All right, and then last question. What legacy do you hope to leave through your work in the community? What legacy do you hope to leave with your work in the community?
The legacy I hope to leave is to continue to destigmatize mental health with all backgrounds, all cultures, and just continue to reach as many people as I can through my work.
Got it. When you think of NCS Best in the West, what comes to mind? One word.
This podcast.
Okay. All right. This podcast. And speaking of which, if you could reach out to one of your former NCS classmates, which one do you think should be a guest on the NCS Best in the West podcast?
Oh, I would say Jordan Soignier.
Okay. And why do you think she should be on the podcast?
I think she has like a very interesting career path, and I would love to hear more about it.
Okay. All right. So Jordan, here we go. El Presidente, you're going to reach out to Jordan right there if you haven't done so already.
Can I add one more?
Absolutely. You sure can.
And Leonard Bradley too.
Leonard Bradley.
The third.
The third. Not Big Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So there you have it. Kierra McCurchin, we appreciate you hopping on and being a guest on the NCS Best in the West podcast. This was your first time, correct?
Yeah, it was. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I really love just your whole story. And, we might have to have you back at some point in time, maybe, I don't know, year 3 or 4. I don't know. Hopefully not that far. But no, we got to have you back and talk a little bit more about mental health in the community and kind of maybe drill down a little bit more in terms of what you do and how, that can benefit some of our parents and students in the community. So we appreciate you hopping on. And any last words, if you have a social media shout out that you want to, have people look for you. If you're on social media, go ahead. This is your time.
Yeah. So one, thank you again for having me. My social media, I'm on Instagram. It's Kierra, my first name _ Imani, IMANI.
There you go. All righty. So we appreciate you. Do me a favor. Just hang out in the green room. I'm going to wrap up the show. Again, on behalf of the NCS and El Presidente over there, we appreciate you taking some time to be a part of our podcast today. So appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So there she is. Man, just such a wonderful time that we had today. Just talking about mental health, the path that she took in terms of being a clinician, if you will, regarding mental health in our community. And so just, NCS does or did, and hopefully it still does, lay a foundation for those young people who walk through the doors. And so, we really appreciate Kierra McCurchin. I think Kieran is one of her family members, but Kierra McCurchin for being on here. Super, super nice. And we were excited to have her on the show today. Other than that, I think that's it. So El Presidente is going to reach out to her friend, and we'll see if we can get her on the show as well. Other than that, we're going to close out the show. Thanks for watching. Do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, leave a comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Hit that notification bell. That way you'll know anytime we drop a brand new video. You guys enjoyed the rest of your Memorial Day. We will see you. And so this is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you in the next video. Peace out, y'all.